Hi guys, this is Marcus, your MTT coach of the Academy of Poker, and today we have another hand review from one of our hands. I think like the hand isn't too spectacular in some way, just really interesting line that our opponent took in this route. We open probably a bit loose here with Jack 10 off in middle position from hijack. It's definitely fine. Middle position probably a bit out of. A bit too wide here, but nevertheless still fine. And the interesting thing here is that even though he just has a few hands, and we played a bit more with him over the course of the day, so that was just at that time, but he definitely had a tendency. I mean, you can see it in 18 hands that he played half of his hands, so that's definitely too much, even though it's only 18. He might have had like some good hands, but definitely playing too much. Really seemed to be really aggressive. Hi guys, my name is Marcus. I'm an MTT coach of the Academy of Poker, and we have a great offer for you. Our current Academy of Poker course will only cost you 200 euros, but if you do it the right way, you can even get it for free. All you have to do is hit the link in the description below, get in contact with our managers, and you can start right away. And now, enjoy the upcoming video. Well, he played here, and yeah, that's why I also, by the way, before we do this, we can have a look at the ranges. As you see here, that's like the middle position opening range from that big blind. From that and big blind is like 22%, and then here we have the flatting range. Sometimes he should be using 3-bet bluffs here with a weaker ace x, even ace jack suited, king queen suited can be 3-bet here, and tens and nines sometimes as well. I think the rest should be fairly clear here. As you see, 12%. And we go into flop of king 10-10, so our flop trips. And let's have a look at what simple post flop is just suggesting here. And as you see, there's a pretty mixed range here of going for a check, like in 1/7 out of the time, preferring definitely going small, so either a quarter or a third. Pretty even here in these situations, and going for half the pot also even less. So you see bigger sizing would probably even be less, so I didn't even put that in here. Now let's see at our specific hand that we have. We had the Jack of Clubs, 10 off, right? Always mix it up. Yeah, that's correct. And you see, yeah, it is leaning mostly towards betting fairly small, checking 1/10 out of the time, so a bit less often as suggested in the overall range. But I thought here, like he's folding in a bit, so that's not much to worry about. Because of this guy being so aggressive, I thought, yeah, let's check it. He's gonna bet his queen jacks, all of his kings, even ace queen, ace jack, stuff like this. Bottom pairs he could bet a lot because he's been just so aggressive here. And yeah, he actually does, and he just bets a quarter of the pot. So let's see if we check. He bets a quarter. You see, he shouldn't be doing that too often, really. Like actually, just with uh, some of the possible trips here and all the other things. We have like some ace queen, ace jack, but as you see, also just 10% of the time. You should be checking back most of the time, and yeah, maybe taking a bit bigger bets sometimes as well. So anyway, I just decided to call, which is totally fine here, as you see, pretty reasonable. We could be raising like every fourth time roughly, but I think in this situation just calling is fine because we keep our range pretty wide here actually. And as you see, we call quite a lot anyway. We're just folding out most of the suited ace x here. And yeah, we go to return, which is a 7. And then you see we should be checking here. We can donk or lead now with our aces. If we see, look at the Jack 10 we have here, again, our specific hand. Yeah, we pretty much always check. However, I decided to donk here because like the 7 gives him some draws. Like he could be doing it with 9/8 suited, for example. Also, just a flush draw in general. And because he's been yeah, so vulnerable to playing pots to be in there. I think I can charge him like really small, and he will still be calling his open enders or his even his gut shots, giving this price, as he will also then have like an overpair, and I might just be protecting as well if I have a draw. So that's why I went for this bet, and he actually min clicks it back here. And of course, this line is not really in here. I had to edit here. However, actually, it's not. Some Impulsive doesn't hate it too much. If we see at the min clicks here, some of the king eggs are in there, definitely with quads. So this one, just this little one combination. And as you see, even with pocket eights, like min clicking here is actually quite nice. And of course sevens with a boat, because by min clicking, like we just still give the opponent would give the opponent like big amounts of equity. Um, and yeah, let's see. Sometimes, as you see with the hearts and the diamond, the hearts and the spades, exactly, and with the diamonds. So as you see, like pretty mixed here with the ace jack. So like in every fifth, we could do this. As you see, like raising is actually liked here by ace jack a lot. Only with ace jack, because we have picked up the nut flush draw as well. We can easily just call here. Uh, but as you see, those would be nice bluffing hands because we still have some equity in this one. Let's see with open-enders, for example, it's also possible here to do, as you see, a small percentage of the time. It's actually simple postal doesn't hate it too much here. And let's see if our calling range, as you see, we still call really wide here given the price we get. As you see, it's getting 6.5 to 1 here. So I just need 13% of equity, which I have that I even have with like ace queen or so, counting the ace in there. And then the three jacks, so we had like 6%, 6 outs, so this would even be possible, or 7 outs actually. So we would even get a good price for that to keep us in. So therefore this definitely works. So you see, we're not really folding just the bottom pairs. We fold some of them, should even be 3-bet to an extent, as you see, half of the time. So that is pretty interesting to see. And actually, Jack 9 suited is the perfect hand to 3-bet here, as you see, double gut shot to go. So yeah, as I said, really interesting spot here so far. As you see, I decided to call, and we see the river, which is the 9 of clubs, as you see over here. I'm checking, and as you see, we check pretty much everything here. We bet some of the tens, of course, the full house, because then it will be hard for the opponent to have that much, and we can still easily target, even though we only bet like 60% of the time, like queen jacks, not folding here anyway, but could thinking about checking back here. With our jack 10 off, for example, as well, we check most of the time. Just with some of the diamond blockers, we would bet here, as you see. But like my hand especially is just a check. And yeah, he went for the pot bet that I can actually, let me edit that quickly. So it's just exactly pot here. So that you can see. And as you see, he has again a mixed range. He should be checking back quite a lot, as you see all the draws that don't get there, or just the top pairs, because he doesn't have enough equity for value bet here. All the small pocket pairs give up because we even draws get there, so it's really hard to get anything to fold. And you see just the rivered full houses, the turn full house would be bets, and those would be pot bet here as well. For example, Jack 10 suited would just be half a pot bet, or even just a third of the pot roughly, as suggested by simple post flop. Then definitely the SEC, the straights. So according to the range here, it's really value heavy if he goes for the big sizing. Ace Jack again is in here, which is a really nice blocker because it blocks the straights here really nicely, plus like bigger ace x combinations like ace 10 or ace king, for example. Uh, so those would be bet at least to some extent from with a pot bet. Other than that, kind of hard to find too much, so that's why I wasn't sure here. But let's see what is suggested by the whole simple post flop. And as you see, the funny thing is we even should call, for example, 9-8. We just have the one combination to get there, but 9-8 suited should be calling 100% of the time now here, interestingly enough. And the rest, as you see, even pocket eights is like a 50-50 decision on calling or folding. We call with all the king X, all the straights, and also definitely call all the 10x. Should be even raising some of them, as you see, to some extent. If we have a look at my specific hand here, we actually should be raising half of the time. Interesting enough, I mean, we have the jack, so we block queen jack in this occasion. That's why, for example, also queen 10 would be a raise. Um, but as you see, I ended up with just calling, actually tanked for quite a bit, and he showed me the jack 10 of diamonds here. So yeah, interesting that he goes for the min click on the turn here actually, because with that much equity, he could have actually went bigger, and it looks like I'm really interested in the hand. So what I was thinking is that he has like queen 10 suited, which was also still only one combination, but like ace 10 or ace 10 off would be possible, but like queen 10 or ace 10 was the things I had in mind, even though it's just five combinations. I was blocking queen jack, so that I didn't really thought about that, but he would also most likely at least check back the turn, unless it's the queen jack of diamonds probably, but then again, just one more combination. Mm. I thought maybe it could be like 10-9 could have been possible, 10-9 suited, but for the rest, just again, really interesting line. And as said, like he bets a quarter on the flop here, so giving like all the open enders and even gut shots really good price. And then this min click on the turn is kind of weird, as said. And yeah, then he snap bets pot on the river. So yeah, I was pretty close to folding here. However, I was just having in mind because he was so aggressive, like that he maybe has some weird bluffs or he's completely overplaying some king X for some reason. So therefore, I thought I'll be should be good enough, should be good here a certain amount of the time. Of course, it's always hard to find out or to think about the same hands when there's only one more 10 in the deck. That's also a thing, because the combinations are just so rarely. As I said, ace 10, there's four aces still left and one 10, so only each ace can connect with one 10, so that's four combinations. You have the queen 10 where it's the same, that's another four combinations. Jack 10 is actually just three combinations, so that's 11. And then you have 10-9 with, in this case, also only another three combinations possible. So it is not that many, and but however, for example, he wouldn't bet pot with queen jack, I'm pretty sure. However, he would bet pot with trips, so probably with the straight he would have done the same. But then again, I block one jack, so there's only three jacks and four queens left. Uh, and yeah, it could have been some draws, maybe even 8-9, as we saw like 8-9 in diamonds or so that he goes for that. It could have made some sense as well, where he tries to steal on the flop and picks up massive equity on the turn. However, even then, this min click on the turn is kind of weird in that extent. But yeah, so far for that hand, I think we played it okay. As you see, we should be c-betting this mostly with flop trips because he has enough king x here to continue. So I was in this case just playing it kind of exploitively because I knew that he's really aggressive, and as you see, uh, in this case, he had a hand, but I'm pretty sure he would have bet quite a bit, at least on the flop, because it's hard to get a lot of value, I would say. We don't get three streets from a king, most likely. So by checking the flop, I think I can at least induce a turn, that induce like some bet from him, and then we could go check on the turn, most likely. And maybe I get like a nice river bet versus a king as well, or he keeps at least betting twice with a king, and I'll just bet on the river small amount, so I can even get like three streets of value. So that was the plan at first, but then this hand played out a bit weirdly, and the small sizing didn't look like a king too much, in my opinion. However, this is the hand of this day. Let me know how would you have played it. Do you think like the c bet is just basically the general rule here, so to say, that we c-bet the flop here, or playing it a bit tricky versus this aggressive opponent here. Uh, Worked out fine. And yeah, the river spot, I think, a bit nasty. Said we don't really beat a lot if you think about it yourself. Also, some bluffs that would make sense are just pretty much some busted diamonds, I guess. But other than that, not so much. And good thing is we didn't have any diamonds. But yeah, other than that, let me know what you think, if you played it, if you would have played it a bit differently or not. Other than that, though, have a nice day, guys. This is it for today's video. Good luck at the tables, and we'll then see each other in the next video. Bye.